All right, there you go.
Look at that. What an intro.
Welcome to Let's Talk About the Vikings, the show where everything's made up and the points that matter. The points are like Aaron Rodgers in January.
Yes, good one. I like it.
Right?
I like it. Rogers dig after we just beat them is okay.
I'm so happy that we are starting the season off this way.
Yeah, me too. I mean, when you and I talked about this for months ago, and then we were like, we should do this, and then, I didn't want to start on a loss to the Packers. Let's just say that.
Yeah, well, I'm okay when we lose to the Packers because it happens about 50% of the time, and honestly, with how good they normally are, I feel like we have a pretty good record against them, honestly. If you look at power rankings, Vikings are somewhere between 10 and 20 normally.
Yes.
And Packers are somewhere between 5 and 1 normally.
Always. Always. As long as Rodgers is there, they're always in top 5.
Yeah, and well, not right now, but
not right now. They dropped.
They dropped. We gained like 9. I look at TPS power rankings a lot, and it was like a huge jump.
It was a huge jump. There's people that I saw one where they had us at number 2. And
I'm like, God.
Oh my gosh, get off the wagon.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's bad. I've seen us in the top 10.
I've seen top 10 quite a bit.
I don't agree with top 10. I think that we are above 15. We're probably into 12s.
I couldn't believe going into the season that there were some power rankings that had us like 18 to 22.
21 is what TPS had us.
I just can't believe, okay, I guess we could start with that. Going into the season, Taco.
Yeah.
How did you feel? How was your Viking feel going before we started?
I famously say I'm not a Vikings fan. I'm just a Vikings watcher because fan implies that you enjoy it. and
a Vikings fan.
I told somebody that, and they're like, "Oh, you're just a fair weather fan when they're doing good." I'm like, when they're doing good, I'm terrified because that always means that they're gonna just go, They only win one game in the playoff to get demolished in the next game. That's just how they are. But I felt like the same way I have the last 3 years, that we have all the weapons, that we have a decent enough defense, but we have a stellar offense. And if things can fall into place, we could be amazing. Like Kirk Cousins on a good day or even an average day, he's better than most. And he's just loaded with weapons. Yeah. And I've always feel our biggest battles against ourselves. I mean, look at every loss in the first half of last year was all by 1 point or 3 points or 2 points. And I feel like it's all just in the Vikings' heads. And if the right coach can be doing the right things, really good things can happen. And that's what we saw.
And that's exactly what we saw. I have to admit, like I think you know this about me. I've been a Kirk fan the whole time. So have you. Oh, hello, Ben.
Hi, Ben. It's going good. Talking football.
I mean, it's going good right now. Find us in week 6. This might be different.
Or the end of next week.
Yeah, I know. I went into the season. I've been a Kirk fan since the day we signed him. That whole offseason, I was anti-Case. I was anti-Teddy. And when everybody was saying that Kirk was the guy that we could get, I was on board. And I have not jumped off since. I mean, don't get me wrong. He has frustrated me.
Oh, yeah.
So many times. But he's
lining up against the wrong lineman. There are times when you're like, what are you doing?
I know. And that first season he played with us, I mean, he looked so bad. So, I get it that people have this. But I did feel, and this isn't to blame, but it's only because you brought up O'Connell and stuff, was like, it did feel like, even before we really knew about Zimmer and Kirk, it felt off. Like, it felt like Kirk never got because it's the NFL. If you don't give your quarterback the ability to run the team, I feel you're wrong.
And if you are a great offensive mind, I understand that, but Zimmer was never that. He never was a great offensive mind. He's very conservative on defense, which is okay, but he's very conservative on offense, and that doesn't fit here. Yeah. It's not the 70s anymore. It isn't.
We were so conservative on offense.
Yeah.
I could not stand it.
In a world where everybody's going on fourth, you're punting on third. Like, what are you doing? Like
constant. It was crazy. Like in like if it was 3rd and 7, it was always a run up the gut. It's like, why are we not throwing the ball past?
We have Thielen, Jefferson, and other years we had Diggs, who, by the way, was just waiting for the right coach to become an absolute superstar, which everyone knew that Diggs was here, but he just couldn't do it. We all knew we had the talent. I am so happy with what I saw in coaching this week. I did a thing as I was waiting. I made some graphics. I didn't do as much as I should. I got 2 offensive graphics, and then I have fumbles. So I could have kept going. But you want to talk? Who do you want to talk first, Vikings or Packers?
It's up to you.
Well, I have them in the order of Packers first. So.
Okay.
But first things first. Score was, I just had it up.
23.
23-7. Yeah.
Great. Beautiful.
Awesome. All right. So Green Bay receiving had they're mixed up. The recoveries and yards are. Oh my God, this card looks like crap.
It's okay.
It got messed up. It's supposed to look like this. Let's talk Minnesota then. So we had Jefferson had 9. Let's talk Jefferson last. All right. So
we have to talk Jefferson last.
Dalvin Cook. Thielen did 36 yards, only 3 receives.
Look at all that receiving. That was all done by Jefferson.
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because Thielen and Cook really didn't have giant. I got these mixed up. It was 3 yards.
Yeah,
or 3 recoveries. I thought I was really proud of these cards. Let's not even look at them. I was so happy with them. And that's what I get for doing.
It's week 1
rush.
You're fine. It's no big deal.
I'll have more time on them.
We have 16 more weeks of this, and hopefully we got extra weeks after that. So.
I have it up now that no one can see. Hopefully we have extra weeks. Thank you. Dalvin Cook had 3 recoveries with only 18 yards, but I believe that's just – is that total? Recoveries, he's a runner. Okay, he only had 3 real runs, Cook?
No, you're talking receptions, sorry. And
okay.
Yeah, so he had 3 for 18. I mean, truly, of the 277, Jefferson had 184.
And let's talk about that 184. I kind of wanted to not – jump right into Jefferson.
Not? You almost have to.
No. I didn't want to do it right away because I know that's all we're going to talk about once we do. That's why I was like, can we talk about Thielen and Osborne for a second? But yeah, so 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 9
receptions.
Receptions out of. And you got 184 yards out. So there are 17 games. No one has ever reached 2,000 yards. How easy is it for him if he plays like this? Like it's his. He's gonna break the record if he plays like this.
It's crazy because how is he so open? The whole game, it was insane. And I'm not saying and Packers corners aren't bad.
They're good. And they have a really good second.
Even Packer fans after because I'm living in Wisconsin, so I'm in the heart of it. Even they say they're we can't with this. What do you do? They're this guy is. I don't know if it's because he's a Viking or if it's because he's young, only his 3rd year. But I think it's taken till right now for people to realize we might have an all-star Hall of Famer on the field. He might be just that good.
His rookie year, people noticed, and people were saying next Randy Moss, and I was like, all right, calm down. As I remember Randy Moss's first year, you had Moss and Carter. Holy crap,
so good.
And it was one of my favorite just football seasons ever. But
true,
but when people were saying that about Jefferson, I was like, he's still the number 2, right? Thielen's still kicking butt. He's replacing Diggs. Calm down. And then last year I was like, I'm an idiot. Jefferson is definitely number 1, and Thielen's is good enough to be a number one as a number two, which is what
Yep.
you want. You want two good weapons, period.
Yep.
And that's going to be the best thing because no one was covering Jefferson. But even if they were, we have Thielen. Like,
That's
it's
exactly
not a
where
big
we're at.
deal.
That is exactly
Yeah.
going into the season that I thought was a huge. I mean, I know that I think it was Pro Football Focus had us as the second best receiving core in the league. And I was like, I'm glad somebody finally said it.
Yeah.
Like, I understand we have Jefferson, who is an all-star top 3 receiver, and I'll fight anyone saying he's number one. I understand that Cooper Kupp's great. I understand Devontae Adams is great. But I'm like, there is nothing telling me that Justin Jefferson's not better than them. Like, I don't know what tells me that.
I
mean,
put
besides-
him in the top 3, but not like at number 3.
Yeah.
Like I say that he's in that conversation of the 3 names you just said.
I mean, I still give it a lot to Kupp. I mean, even when the Rams
Kupp's
looked terrible on
insane.
Thursday, Kupp was just crushing people. So
Yeah,
good. It's just the Rams were so bad.
Yeah.
He was the only one playing football. But he was. That was bad.
That's always unfortunate.
It is. But no, but that's my one thing is like we go into the season and like I'm like we have look at our offense. We have JJ, we have Thielen. KJ Osborne's a very good number 3.
Really good.
Irv Smith's back. Didn't even have a catch on Sunday, but he's back.
Yep.
And then we picked up from Philly, the guy who went the draft pick before him. He was returning punts. What is that guy's name?
I got a Munt I'm looking at who got
No,
17.
that's not it. I don't think he actually played at snap of offense.
Elfson?
Oh yeah, we have Elfson. He's lame, but it doesn't matter. But and then you have
I can look at kick returns. You said he was kick returning or punt returning?
He was kick and punt. Returning.
Ragor?
Yeah, that's it.
Jay Ragor?
He was the guy who got taken a draft pick before Jefferson in the draft by Philly.
Oof.
So Philly drafted him instead of Jefferson, and we drafted
Jefferson.
Yeah. So now he's on Minnesota after he tanked out of Philly, and and then you add in Cook and like a good Cousins. I'm like, what is people stopping from saying that our offense is really good?
Not to mention, well, he didn't play, but Madison's also like he didn't get anything this year, but this game, but he's also like when Cook is out, people are like, oh no, we don't have Devin Cook. I'm like, got Madison.
Great. I'm kind of glad that nobody traded for him when we tried to trade him a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm glad too because I love him. I think he's a perfect backup.
I do too.
It sucks that he's a backup. I understand that,
Yeah.
I guess he did get 36 yards. I now see Minnesota rushing.
He had a couple decent little, but he didn't have a lot of carries. But the couple carries he had were pretty decent.
There you go. This is what I was missing. So Cook had 20 carries with 90 yards. That's still a decent freaking.
That's pretty good.
That's. I mean, with how many yards Jefferson got, there's still 90 left for him. Like you know, it was a very favorite heavy, but that's only because they weren't getting stopped. Like if Cook was getting stopped, Madison would have came in, and if Jefferson was, Thielen was. But really, you have like your two big guys are getting a lot of yards. I want to talk defense whenever you're ready.
Me too.
Because
I mean, if you weren't excited for a healthy Hunter and a healthy Devontae Smith to be on the field at the same time,
you now have somebody else too.
That's all I care about.
Yeah. Healthy Hunter is always good. It's a scary Hunter. I hate how much love he doesn't get when people talk about just some of your best defensive players. Like I'm like, how come no one ever talks about Hunter?
I know.
Like
I think a little is the Viking thing. It's but I think a little. I mean, we all know his injury history is atrocious.
Yeah, that's true.
He really has to stay on the field this year badly.
So we Hunter got 1 sack, and then Hicks got 1.
Yep.
And then DJ Wonnum is his name?
DJ Wonnum, yeah.
And I thought there was one more.
He got blown up a few times though.
Smith
got one, didn't he?
Smith. So Smith we got from Packers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was nice.
He was the guy. He was the guy that
he looked monstrous.
He is monstrous, and all the Packer fans in Wisconsin just trashed him to me when we picked him up. They were like, "He's such a diva. He never wants to play. You guys can have his big contract." And then he got really mad at Green Bay, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to show you."
He had a chip on his shoulder.
He does.
Like so because when he freaking tackled his former quarterback, he's like, and I was like, holy crap,
felt
was
so
something
good.
there.
That's all I wanted. Because it was funny when I was on my way home. I was riding with a Packer fan from a vacation, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna hate it if Smith gets a sack and gets it on Rodgers." And I'm like, and then like we left, and then I text him. I'm like, just text him flexed arms because he was just not wanting Smith to get a sack at all. And I'm pretty sure he got the first one. So
he did. I remember that. And most tackles of the entire game went to Hicks.
Yeah, and he's turned out to be a pretty good player.
He got 14 tackles. That's double the next guy. Harrison Smith got 7.
Might have to do with the fact that Green Bay, not to switch over to Green Bay quick, I was shocked at how much they ran A.J. Dillon.
Yeah.
Like, I understand he's a monster.
What's up, Galaxy Geeks? Sorry, I got to say hi to Luke.
Man. He's a monster of a human. But, I was surprised when Green Bay's, not doing any big plays that they keep running with the big guy.
Jones got more yards with half of the carries.
Carries. I know.
Dillon got 10 carries with 45, and Jones got 49, which isn't too much more, but 49 with 5 carries. So Jones is doing good too.
Jones is a great running back. He's really good. And I understand they like Dillon a lot, and I don't know if they're just trying to hold off Rodgers a little bit. I don't know. It's interesting. I thought the Pack. I mean, I guess if we're done on defense. I mean, other than the fact that I still prefer.
I'm not done with defense yet.
Neither am I. So let's go back. Are you the only one that's surprised still that Harrison Smith can literally fly all over the field?
I am. He's one of those names that ever since I started watching football again, he's him and Hunter have been the constants on the team.
Yeah.
And they're such a staple to the defense, and it's and also Kendricks too these last few years.
Kendricks is just a solid middle linebacker. The guy is
absolutely
a solid, just a very, very, very good.
You forget about him sometimes, and then he makes really big plays, and you're Kendricks.
So good. Yeah, he's great. I know the Smith thing. I remember when we gave him that 3-year deal going into the season, and so many people couldn't believe, how do you pay a 32 or 33-year-old safety 3 years to play football? I'm like, the dude has been at the top of the game for a decade.
Yeah.
And he's still a top 5 safety.
Absolutely.
That's unheard of. I mean, I look at Smith and go, how does a guy like this not get in the Hall of Fame? He might go under the radar to most people because we're the Vikings.
Well, if we won a Super Bowl or something like that, people would notice us a lot more. But Hall of Fame players on our teams, it will just take a lot longer for people to notice.
It does.
But not only that, but he's a safety. How long does it take for people to notice safety at all?
Yeah. It'll be 20 years down the road when he's 60 years old.
Best safety in the world or best punter in the world, and no one's gonna notice.
It's true. It's not wrong. You're not wrong on there. But yeah, it's watching him make a couple of the plays that he made, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he needed to make up. I guess we had to say some negatives. Patrick Peterson looked terrible. He got burned so many times.
He did. He still got 6 tackles, which isn't garbage, but
man, there was a couple plays that he got he got railed on. I mean, he kind of did that last year, and I like him the fact that he's an older guy, and we have really young corners. I mean, between Bynum and Dantzler, they're small, young guys, so I don't mind having an older guy there to teach them. But
I like Dantzler a lot.
Sorry, I do too. I really do.
I do. I don't think I ever really noticed. Halfway through the game, I'm like, "Hey, Dantzler, what's up, buddy? Who are you?"
Yeah.
I don't even know who you are.
He got bulky last year. I watched him. He was the guy who dropped the coverage in that Lions game last year when they were. When they drove the field. And there was 2 seconds left.
That's why I forgot him.
Mm-hmm.
I actively forgot him.
With the worst coverage I've ever seen on a last-second throw.
That game.
Yeah, it's bad. It's so bad.
It's one of the messiest games we've ever had. like these last couple of seasons. So it's a really messy game.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Yeah,
it was truly disgusting.
I remember back before the Bills were good. So like 4 or 5 years, they were really like they haven't won a game yet this season, and then they just absolutely crushed us. It made us look like the worst team, or like I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, did we switch colors? Like, are we wearing the blue? Like, what's going on? And I never felt shame like that again until the Lions game that we lost last year, and I was like, what are we doing?
Well,
like,
it didn't help the fact that, like you brought up earlier, the fact that we already had how many close losses,
and
then
so many against good teams that were all in the top 10 of everyone's like, oh, they're Super Bowl contenders, they're blah, blah, blah. And half of them were Super Bowl, like the two of them were in the Super Bowl, and we lost for like one field goal. We missed the field goal and lost.
Missed a field goal, or we let them kick the field goal, or we missed the. It was just so. And that Lions game was the nail in the coffin, I thought, last year.
Yeah, I stopped caring after it.
Me too. But again, it goes back before we switch over to Green Bay. It goes back to the fact that I don't think it's any. I think O'Connell makes us better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think that's even a debate.
How many points did the Rams score on Thursday night? A week ago?
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, so how many people were like, maybe it was O'Connell?
I don't know, because I do believe in Super Bowl hangover. I do believe that when you win a Super Bowl, that you walk into your next game, especially week 1, or just like until you get a loss, like you're like, but you're doing that to the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills are the best team in the league by a mile.
Period.
Like,
just period. And it's not because of one thing. It's because of all things. They are so well-rounded. And, I mean, they're the team that, like, they're in the Super Bowl until something happens, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're the obvious bet for if you're putting money down.
Oh, yeah.
You're putting it on the Bills. It's just...
Yeah.
But,
there's no way around that.
Yeah, there's no way around it. So, I mean, overall, I don't know if you have anything more to say, but, I mean, for week 1 Vikings, I mean, this, and the other thing I loved was that we, like, it guys go back to like the conservative thing. We never took our foot off the gas.
No,
the whole time
we're throwing great balls, momentum.
We're slinging the ball. We're still blitzing. We're not zimmering it up.
I had to listen to it because NFL app changed to have to pay, and I was like,
yeah, I paid for it.
I tried, and it sent me to an email that I couldn't get to, and I was like, okay, whatever, I don't have time for this. So then I watched it on this weird app, or listened to it on this weird app that's in a machine, and I had to get to a frequency. It's this weird thing I've never heard of. Thing? They call it a radio. Radio, something. And I had to hear commercials for the same 3 commercials every 5 minutes. That was great. So I listened to it and then watched all the highlights because I didn't get to see any of the crazy stuff. So I watched the highlights like 4 times after. Yeah. And I can tell you right now the momentum change. We looked good. I mean, I'm not saying anything about that first drive. That first drive was textbook, exactly what you want a first drive to be. It was gorgeous. But then we're like, okay, are we going to Vikings it up? Are we? Like, I'm not sure. Packers are kind of looking good. Halfway through the second quarter, we stop them on the 4th down. And I was like, okay.
That was a great statement.
What's going on? I'm like, all right. That was a momentum change. I feel like we didn't slow down after that, period.
Agreed. Even when the Packers had their one really good drive where they got the touchdown, where they ran it down our throats, and they just beat us down in like typical Viking fashion. I'm like, here it goes. Momentum's done. This is it. I mean, we're gonna go 3 and out. Green Bay is going to come back again, and they're going to drive it down the throats again, and then we're going to be up by 3 instead of 10 or 15. And it never happened. Like we got on the field, we threw the ball all the way down, and we killed another drive. I don't think we scored after it, but I was just like, oh, it wasn't a 3 and out.
Yeah,
that's spectacular. Like
very nice.
How many 3 and outs did it feel like you used to feel these last like 2 years?
Oh yeah, well.
Constant.
I used to always write on my Facebook, like, somebody's got to tell the Vikings that the game continues after halftime. Like how many years is it? Like first quarter, second quarter.
I mean, didn't you ever see Zimmer's first quarter stats? They're insane.
Yeah, they're insane.
Like crazy good as a head coach.
And his fourth quarter stats are garbage.
Are garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage.
I have quite a few things I still want to say. I have a fear, and I want to run this fear by you.
Oh.
Do we just think the Vikings did good because the Pack played horrible?
The Pack did play bad. I mean, let's be honest. We got lucky that Watson dropped that pass.
Oh my God! That's one of the hardest. What happened?
Rookie had his moment to shine right away and drops a wide open.
You
pass.
see Rodgers' face, like, oh my God!
Yeah.
It was a great catch, like almost catch. Like it was this perfect throw, and even if you look at Rodgers, he's 100% in pressure. It doesn't even look like he looks. He's just like and it's this great throw, and he's open, catches it, zoom. You're like, what happened?
I mean, agreed. I'm with you, man. I mean, we all know the Packers offense. And Allen Lazard was out. Their only veteran receiver did not play. They didn't have their best offensive lineman.
And even with all those, they still didn't play good. Even with all those problems, like even if they did have those things,
they straight up did not play good football.
They didn't play good.
They did not look good.
And we looked good, but I don't feel that we looked amazing. We only looked amazing because we were playing against a team that had a really bad
playing
day.
very poorly.
So I'm worried that this was just they lost more than a we win situation, and that maybe we're all the people who are now putting us in the top 10. That's why I was saying earlier, I don't think we're in the top 10. I think we're in the high or the low teens, 13, 12.
Sure.
I don't think we are.
I think if I'd say 10, I mean, we're probably 10. I mean, that's where I'd put us if we were.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, and you know what the main test is next week. And
it's a big week. We have a big first 4 weeks, truly.
Oh, absolutely. And then it gets easy. We have a pretty easy middle, I think, is pretty decent. But,
yeah, because we have. I mean we're underdogs on Monday night.
Oh,
not
absolutely.
by much, but we are.
I am. I have a burning, flaming hatred of the Eagles that spans eons of just hate, and I think it all goes back to. I bet you could guess where my hatred for the Eagles goes back to, but there's a certain playoff game that not only did we play the worst games that we've ever did, but they also belted us with batteries for some reason. Fans was hitting other fans with socks filled with batteries. What are we in right now? Are we in prison? Was there a prison riot going?
Yeah.
But that has forever put a bad taste in my mouth. Not only that, but I from Fargo, North Dakota, Carson Wentz was kind of like my college quarterback. And then he went to Philly, and I was like, really, Eagles? And then that was the year. It was the Bridgewater versus Wentz year, and one team didn't do. Bridgewater didn't even make it out of the year.
Yep.
It became a Case Keenum, whoever that guy is.
Yep.
Never even heard of him until that day.
Yep.
And so I have a absolute hatred. They're my second least favorite team behind the Pack because I have to hate the Pack, number one.
You do.
But
it's part of being a Vikings fan.
Just part of being a Vikings fan. Apparently, we just hate the color green.
That's it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Are there any other green teams? I don't think there are.
Is that it? Two. Yeah, I think that is those two.
They suck. But yeah, so I have a lot of emotional baggage going into this because I just want to see the Eagles lose. But that doesn't change the fact that the Eagles are a good team. And we played really well against a team that played really bad. And I don't want to pretend like we beat the best Packers with the best Vikings. I'm just not going to pretend that.
Right. And I think I agree with you because, I think it goes back to what you were saying very beginning is Packers were put still so high because it's Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Even though everybody knows they're going into the season with probably the weakest team he's played with,
for a long
all
time,
around weakest team, and it's still Rodgers. There's no doubt that I'm hoping we can win this division, but if we can, they're probably the wild card still. Chicago got away with one. Detroit's still bad. So
I love Detroit though. They're like my
I do
second
too.
favorite team,
I like
just
Detroit.
because they're such this underdog, like
You always
grit,
just want 'em-
man.
You just
Like,
want them to be good.
I loved
But-
Hard Knocks so much, and
Oh, I know. People
was-
said the Detroit season was so good.
yeah. Well, this easily the best season of Hard Knocks I've ever watched.
Oh,
Like,
really?
by
I
a
should
lot,
watch
and
it.
it's all the head coach is just so good.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got 3 toes or 1 ass cheek, man. We're gonna beat you. What? What does that mean? And he just
Oh, God.
he ends every sentence in man, like he's at a bar.
Sure.
Tackle him, man. Dude,
that's
you're
so
a head
funny.
coach. Like,
Coach. That's so funny.
but he's
But no,
he's
I
great.
agree with you though. But like, the other thing about the Eagles, which is why it would be a really good win, is before the Thursday night game. I mean, I was kind of looking at predictions and stuff, and the Eagles were one of the NFC teams that the experts were crowning as like a legit team. I mean, me and my buddy were talking all about it. We were going through like playoff predictions. We were going through like Michael Strahan's and Colin Coward's, and I mean, Philly was picked to be a playoff team by everyone.
I
And
just
we
don't. I
weren't.
don't see them as a playoff. Like I consider them almost like the wild card team. Like I don't.
I think that was kind of where they were. I feel like a lot of people
Okay.
jumped.
But like a favorite of the whole. Like
It's like a
really?
top 4
Oh wow.
of the NFC. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Me and my buddy had the whole discussion. I feel like they were the team that people just grabbed onto. They were like, all right, who could be the team that if we all say they're good and they turn out to be good, we can all say we're right. And I feel like Philly was that team.
Yeah.
Because I really do. Because I see Philly as no different than us.
They've always kind of had that middle of the pack fight their way up to the top mentality.
Right.
And
It's just
that
the
we
fact that they
definitely
actually,
have.
won a Super Bowl a few years ago.
Without a quarterback. I don't know how they did it. The ball just appeared into people's hands. It was crazy.
Yeah.
No one was throwing it. I don't know. Is there a guy who threw it? He
Yeah, I
definitely
know.
doesn't have a career anymore.
I know he doesn't. Unreal, right?
That's
Just
so
the-
insane. Played
It's
one
so
of the
insane.
best Super Bowls of all time, and it's like was the top, like bottom 3 quarterbacks in the league. Like, holy crap!
Well,
It
now
just
he's
proves
like,
you anyone could just
he's
kill
like
it.
second or third string in somewhere too. My gosh, talk about a system.
He's not even a backup. He fights
know, I
to
think
be a
he's-
backup.
I think he's third string in somewhere.
Oh my god!
I know, poor Nick Foles. But yeah, no, I think next week,
Poor
I think
Foles.
this is between this one, and then obviously playing Detroit, which is, still in division, and then the London game with the Saints.
Woo.
I mean, if we can come out of here 4-0,
That's going to be the test. And even before we get to the Saints, I really do think that Eagles is our last
I think
week
it's
wasn't
the-
a fluke game.
it's the big one of these.
Yeah.
Like if we lose to the Eagles, beat Detroit, and beat the Saints, I mean, yeah, 3-1 records. I'm not gonna.
No, but
dislike
it proves that we're middle
where
or
you
high
said
middle and
high
not
middle. It proves
that
that
we're
we are a
definitely
wild
not
card.
in that top 10 that people
Exactly.
think.
And we
Yeah.
all know that that's the Vikings' Kirk Cousins issue. Is he has
But-
troubles beating the good teams.
Especially, I hate the whole Monday night curse bull
Yeah, I know.
crap
But-
because he beat it last year and still people still bring it up. But it is still primetime football, and like it's a big game. And I really hope that now that he has a coach that talks to him, like now that he has a
I
coach
hope that
that
actually meets with him once in a while.
it doesn't only call him by his number.
Isn't that insane? It's just so
Oh my God.
insane.
Why treat your star players like crap? I just don't get that.
Especially
I
the
just-
guy that we're paying so much money.
Yeah, you give a guy $1 billion, and then you're like, "Hey, crap face, gonna throw better." Like, it's like, dude, what the heck? So I impression
Holy-
of Zimmer.
I love it.
I have so many Zimmer stories I'm not allowed to say on the internet, but
Yeah.
but he's just a goofy
He's a
little
goof-
goofball.
He's a
He's a
goofball.
goofy guy.
Yeah, he's a goofball.
Who
But
doesn't
yeah, I know. I agree with
anything
you.
but
Going
football.
into Eagles, if you were to put
That's-
money, if you're putting money on it right now, do you think we win?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean. I mean, I think that we are the better team as much as people won't say it. I think we are,
Yeah,
but that we usually are. The only issue is if I say, oh yeah, everyone's firing on all cylinders. The Eagles are firing on all cylinders, and the Vikings are. Vikings are a better team, but we don't always do that. We don't always live up to our potential, and that's the
Agreed.
problem. Kirk Cousins is one of the best quarterbacks in the game, and he does not act like it. He doesn't play like it half the time.
Right.
He only plays like it every once in a while. We're like, dude, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't always play that way. But you have a great quarterback with Thielen, Jefferson, Cook, Osborne, CJ Ham, fullbacks for the win.
I love CJ Ham. He's great.
Yeah. And then freaking Smith. Like, so you have that. You have this in Osborne, of course. I can't not. Or I think I already did. But anyways, you have these amazing weapons, the really good quarterback, and we've proven that our secondary, like our pass rush, like it's all really good. Or not our pass, our whatever, you know what I mean? But it's all really good, but all of it we actually have to live up to our potential. And then easily we could beat the Eagles. But if we go out there and just crap at our pants, there's no chance.
I know.
And
but I really hope
the frustrating thing about
I know. I really hope by like week 4, like I'm really hoping if we could beat the Saints and be 4-0, like, I mean, I would feel so good about like maybe we could do it. I don't want to talk about it now, but like I want to. This is the closest I've felt since. I mean, I was pretty high on Case that year when they weren't sure if he was going to start. I was. Like when they were like, maybe we should start Teddy, or maybe we should try to bring Bradford back, even though his leg was.
I like Bradford more.
Well, but Bradford's legs fell off.
Well, he's a glass cannon that he is so good, and then somebody pokes him and he's like,
yeah,
I broke again.
Yeah, but I honestly. Yeah, I probably haven't felt this good. And even I felt this good going into the season, before even the Packer game, since that Teddy year.
But see, that terrifies me. I don't want you to feel good. This is the Vikings.
Yeah, I know. See, that's
the better you feel, the worse they play.
See, I felt bad the last, 3 years. Like, I was just I feel serene that, this...
Yeah.
If we don't make the playoffs, I mean, I would be stunned.
I'm with you. Here's the difference between when we were doing good last year, which we didn't much, but before I was cautiously optimistic, right? I was like, they keep almost winning these. They are a good team. Their record is not what they are. And that was last year. Their record did not reflect how good of a team they were. They were a better team than their record last year.
They were.
And this is the first time I'm not cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic. I'm like, all right, we're actually going to, we actually have a team. We looked good. But that doesn't mean that the Vikings stench doesn't happen.
Oh.
So I don't know. We can speculate about the whole season after the first game all we want.
All the time.
But we're not gonna get any answers until
correct. All right. So the last question is, what's the score? What's the score on Monday?
I'm so bad at score guessing. I really am. I'm so bad.
I'm thinking we need to try to put up some points because I think Philly's going to put some points on us. So I'm thinking we're going to need to win 30-27 or something.
Okay. I was going to say something on like a close in the 20s.
You think so? Low
20s. 27-24. Like something close. Like that. Yeah, and I don't know who's going to win. I think it's going to be.
I think we need a good statement win. I mean, if we blow them out, that'd be wonderful. But I think it's going to be close. I don't see us blowing Philly out.
Well, let's talk Eagles super quick.
Sure.
Maybe you know more stuff than I do. How are their defense? Who is their quarterback? What town are they from?
Well, Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. That's the young guy. He's 3 years in the league now. They're all in on him. They really jammed the money and the time and all the things onto Hurts. So they kind of gave him a team. And again, that was the thing I always disliked about Zimmer. Is I would look at teams, teams like the 49ers who just went all in on Trey Lance before he threw a football.
Yeah.
And you have the Eagles taking this flyer on this running quarterback that nobody's ever heard of. And we've had
good quarterbacks, and he's never done that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet we had Zimmer and Spielman have a guy that they're paying tons of money, a top 8 quarterback, and we never once was like, this is Kirk Cousins' team. He controls it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Philly's doing really well. And I mean, their defense is good. I mean, they have good receiving. They mirror the Vikings quite a bit.
Okay.
I really do. They have that. Oh my gosh, I know I'm on a fantasy team because he's a guy I like, but their running back's pretty good. Not as good as Cook, but they're good. And again, a lot comes from Miles Sanders. That's the running back. Philly's fast and they get moving, and so our defense has to play well.
So you're saying that they're going to come out running at 100 miles per hour. If our defense stops them, we might have we'll probably have a good chance, or it's going to be gunslinging. And Kirk Cousins doesn't win gunslinging. If it's just points against points without defense, we just don't win that. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm definitely optimistic, and it's funny because I don't even want to predict. I kind of just want to see it. I just want to.
I'm excited.
I'm really pumped.
It thinks that like a statement game is week 2.
I know, isn't that weird? It's like make or break, week 2.
A little bit, because Kirk we kind of need to win on Monday Night Football.
Well, and I want to know what kind of team we are. I don't know. I don't know what kind of team we are, and this is gonna tell us. Unless like first quarter we just break Hurts's collarbone, and then we still don't know. Like we did that once to Aaron Rodgers. I love
that. Was so good.
Yeah,
still feels good. Still feels good.
I keep going. Break them, destroy them, do it again.
Take it down. Don't sit down, Kirk. We're screwed.
All right. Well, we can end it. We can end it here. I feel like we covered a lot. Yeah, I'm excited too, and I hope that we can do one of these every week. I know that both of us are extremely busy.
We're gonna do it.
And I'm not saying it's always going to be live, and I'm not saying it's always going to be on Friday.
No, this is going to be
try to get them.
This is going to be a whenever Taco and I can do it before the next game podcast.
And they might be recorded, and they might be, the coming out the day before their game or the day of their game.
That's it. Our goal is just it will get done sometime between game and game. That's the deal.
Between game and game. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Well, thanks, Dustyn.
Thanks, Taco.
I love your soft taco name. That's good.
Yeah, gotta switch it up. See how many of these puns I can come up with by the end of the season.
There's a lot of Mexican food.
There's a lot. You've proven it. So, all right. Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. All right. Do you want to tell anyone about all those wrestling podcasts you do?
If only Soda and I are even more or less inconsistent over at the Northern Schmoes or whatever. I don't even remember what the Northern Entertainment Network. We have been so lax. It's so bad. We didn't even
Northern
talk.
Entertainment
Group. We were supposed to record 2 days ago, and we didn't even talk about it. So once in a while, if you go to Northern Entertainment Group, Squared Slice will be on there with Soda and I talking all things WWE pretty much. So that's what we do here and there. And Taco, you have 400 things going on at once.
I do. They're all on my channel. You guys are on my channel. Subscribe, see it all there. I will plug my every NFL team's Pokemon type because my highest viewed video I've ever done.
Unreal.
And it's great. And it's me assigning Pokemon typing to NFL teams. And I gave Vikings Ice type.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like 300 views, and I'm like, really? I don't want 300 people to watch that. Like, this is a dumb little video.
So funny.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Dustyn, and we'll see you guys week 2 against the Dirty Birdies. And say goodbye. See you guys later.